Hello everyone, Sick Mechanico here with a special update for our Kickstarter backers with regards to Console Wars, the card game. Back when we announced the Kickstarter, we showed you our prototype, which we worked really hard on because we wanted to show off what the game would theoretically look like should we be successful. Well, as great as this lovely prototype was, we've got something a little better to show off now, as our final prototypes have come through from our production partners before we go to ship in 2025. And there are a few surprises in store. So with the help of my little assistant Pumpkin here, I'm going to walk you guys through what you can expect with whatever tier you've backed on Kickstarter when they arrive early 2025, because yes, we are on target. First of all, surprise number one for our standard edition backers is we've actually given the UV spot treatment to the box here for standard edition. This was one of our stretch goals. We didn't make it, but we love you guys for making this possible, so we've done it anyway. So we've got that here and it looks fantastic, as well as for our Console Warrior Edition backers, the hollow foil treatment on this box, which I think looks exceptional. So big thank you to all of you guys. Again, we didn't make this stretch goal, but we love you, so we're making it happen. And last but not least, before we dive in and show you all the cards properly, we have made the Kickstarted card holographic, and it does look awesome. Once you've opened up your Console Wars edition, if you're the Console Warrior edition or the standard edition, you'll get this set of cards right here. This is the full game, and I'm just going to show you a brief few things, some of the improvements we've made. I'm not going to ruin the surprise of showing you every different game in the deck because, well, that would be ruining the fun. So you can see the quality of the cards has improved immensely. We've got this lovely varnish, which really makes it so nice to just deal the cards out. You have your full set of standard game cards there, as well as your dual game cards here. There's 48 of those in total, including these three, which are our wild game cards. You'll notice as well that we've kind of separated out from a design perspective the flavor text, i.e. the joke, and what the card actually does and the instructions of that card. So you can see the pink box here is just to define that for players so that when they're looking at the card, they know exactly to do what the card says. So we have our game cards like that. We have our action cards. Again, we've made a subtle change here just to really like single out these cards in particular with these cool little motifs at the top here as opposed to just a plain black bar. You can then see the instructions for each card are labelled in the pink box here for all of your action cards for the game. One of the other changes we've made to the main deck is we've actually put our Console Wars logo on the back. We found during playtesting this used to be white. If you held your cards up to the light, you might be able to just tell what the other players have had. And we're all for a fair strategic game, so we've blackened the back of the cards here to make it nice and fair for everybody involved, as well as a little bit of marketing and branding. We have our fan base amounts. Again, lots of different amounts of fan base. Nothing too exciting about these, but that's all of those. We have our fan base increase cards. So this is how you would steal fans from other players, depending upon what colors and the genres you've got. One thing that some people will notice is we've adjusted the genre types. So we've just made some simplification to make the buckets a bit easier, and we've introduced some additional ones so that we can have more fun games like indie games and sports and sim games and things like that. And then we have our hardcore and casuals, and these are effectively, you can attach them to genres to increase their value. They're all worth the same. You'll notice we also have these two decks. So this is our perk deck. We've changed the design of the back so you can easily identify them from the rest of the main deck. And these are simple cards that give you unique buffs and perks as you're playing through Console Wars, the card game. Some are specific to genre like these, but then we have some special ones like Fanboy Loyalty or Market Leader that change up the game a little bit in subtle ways. These can be stolen, so fret not. And then lastly, we have our global events, again differentiated on the back. So these go into the main deck when you're playing. When one of these comes up, you deal with it, you play it straight away. We have things like the press sneak card, market crash, the next gen console launch, ransomware attack, the Leroy, and live service pivot. And these are all a part of the standard deck. If you're a console warrior edition, this is the DLC pack that you'll get. It will fit inside the box, which is one of the reasons we've made the box slightly larger. It's a nice simple tuck box. On the back here we have instructions of how to swap out these 48 game cards that I have in my pile here, and you can customize the deck. So one way of doing that, for example, is you'll have the horror genre for it. Just as an example here, if we find the horror genre in here, you might not be a big fan of Death Space, but you might really want to have Alone with a Shark in there instead. So you can just swap it out and put it into your deck, play with that card. So we want to enable players to kind of customize it, because we recognize whilst a lot of the games in here are pretty well known, you might want some differences to your deck. But there's 48 in total across the genres that we've selected, from indies, arcades, sports games, and more. As well as the dual game cards here as well, and the wild cards, including an orangish box and some other bits and pieces. We've also given DLC purchasers the new perk cards, so we have crossplay, Rare Drop, the Money Hat, and the Remake card, as well as 3 new global events to change up the game as you're playing through. So there we have it. That is everything that will ship if you've ordered either the standard edition of Console Wars, the card game, or if you've been very fancy and ordered yourselves the Console Warrior edition. Production is going to continue through the Christmas period, and we'll be looking to start shipping towards the end of January, beginning of February of Q1 2025. I just want to take an opportunity to say thank you so much to every single person that's covered, talked about, promoted, and obviously backed our campaign. There'll be more announcements to come in the future, but I was really excited to share with you this first look as I got these through in the mail today. One quick reminder, if you haven't yet filled in your backer survey, you have, I would say, less than a week to do so. This is the opportunity that if you're moving house, you can change your address. If you have anything you want to say, there's a survey to fill in. It's very simple. You can do it in the Kickstarter app. You can do it on the web. It takes less than 2 minutes to fill in. But if we don't have your address, we can't ship you the game. 90% of you have filled them in. That last 10%, hurry up and get it done, because once we cut it off, I can't ship it to you unless I know where you live. Until next time, thank you so much for all the support, and we look forward to getting the games in your hands in 2025.